and welcome to our Zoom that we are going to have with Heather MacMillan, who is an amazing, amazing certified facilitator with Access Consciousness, as well as certified facilitator with Talk to the Entities. Yes. So today we'll be talking about Talk to the Entities and how did we make other people, things greater than ourselves, and how to deal with that. So I'll let Heather, and by the way, I'm Helen Gitlevich.
Yes.
I'm a facilitator and facilitator with 3-day body classes. So today is Heather's webinar, which we will be hearing more about tools of access consciousness from her. And I would like to ask you, Heather, to introduce yourself, also to tell us a little bit of how did you come to become Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator and to become Talk to the Entities Facilitator.
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. My name's Heather MacMillan. I'm a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness and Talk to the Entities. And Talk to the Entities has created so much ease and freedom in my life. So many of the things that I used to call bad moods or feelings were really just my awareness of entities. And without these tools, I'm not sure how anyone deals in the world when you're just have so much awareness of all the beings around you and all the beings that are attached to them. And the tools that I facilitate in the intro and the beginning class of Talk to the Entities really liberate you and empower you to be able to handle whatever comes up with entities. So it's really been an incredible gift in my life. And this class came about, the title that picked itself for this free Zoom has been something that's been coming up with a lot of clients and with classes and with sessions. And it seems to be the question that I'm asking people most often in sessions and classes these days is, okay, so something was trying to stop you on the way to the session or on the way to the class. Who or what have you made greater than you that allows that? So that's the topic that we're going to play with here tonight, because when you make anyone or anything greater than you, you really invite in a host of not so fun energies or entities if you're not willing to be the captain of your own ship, in charge of your own life.
So what happens with that, Heather, when we make other people's greater than us? Like literally, how can they stop us?
Well,
and is it actually true that they're greater than us?
Absolutely not. I mean, that's where the tools of access consciousness and the clearing statement come into play. For those of you who might not be familiar with access or the clearing statement, you can find out more on theclearingstatement.com. It's an amazing website where you can find out more details about what every aspect of this clearing statement means. All you have to know is that for limitations to exist, you have to have created them. So what we do with the POC and POD is we destroy and uncreate these limitations. So when I ask people, who or what have you made greater than you, it brings up an energy, and it may be from people that exist around you right now, but it may be people that you're tied to from other lifetimes, or people that you were in relationship with years ago, or entities or beings that you have around you in your space that you haven't cleared or acknowledged.
So what do you do with that? I mean, you realize that you made them greater. How can you go about shifting that? Because for me, it did not work. I didn't want somebody stopping me from going to classes, or even today when I was facilitating foundation, one of the participants, oh my God, how many things were getting in her way of getting to the class.
Yeah. And I find that a lot too. So a few of the tools that I start with there are, and anyone else who's on this Zoom, if you want to jump in, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Please take yourself off mute. Feel free to jump into the conversation. But the number one tool I go to when anything comes up, when there's some sort of interesting energy, or is the 4 questions of access consciousness, which we learn in the foundation class. Is what is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how do I change it? And from asking those questions, with so many people having delays, or getting a sense that a class is going to be canceled when it's not, or getting lost on the way to their session, is, who or what have you made greater than you? Who or what have you given the power to stop you? And everything that brings up for all of us, will we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So who or what have you made greater than you? Who or what have you given the power to stop you, to limit you, to keep you from what you desire in life? And all that is, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah, and that's still running. So who or what have you made greater than you? Who or what have you given the power to limit your choices and your possibilities? And all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds.
I have a question. I don't know if you guys can see me. Hi.
Yes.
I have a question. You mentioned something about, what did you just say? Something about, when you feel anger, or you feel, I forgot what you said, that those are the entities. So how do you know if it's an entity or a distractor implant? Because I often find that I have a lot of anger. That's what's been coming up in my life lately. I mean, really, anger. And mostly with my mom. I live with her. She's an older lady, and she's quite something, bless her heart. And yet, this week I've had much more peace. But I've been doing I've been running the distractor, and the distractor implant clearing, at least one that somebody gave me. And how do you know if it's that or it's entities? And what is the purpose of entities? That's something that I haven't really gotten into yet.
Well, cool. I'll start with your first question. So when you're aware of anger, there's a few places that you can go with that. But I would always start with a question. So I would ask you, so truth, is this entities that you're aware of? Is this entities or something else? The distractor implants, that's a great place to start. And it sounds like you've been clearing that. So you can always ask a question. So is this entities? Okay, if you get the awareness that it is, then you can start to do some clearing. What we do in the Talk to the Entities beginning class is you do 3 things with entities, basically. You clear them, you communicate with them, and you receive from them. And what we start in with the 2.5-day class of Talk to the Entities is the clearing and the communicating. And the clearing creates so much freedom. And so we can start with that right now. So
yeah, let's ask about the anger, because why would it show up as anger if it were an entity? Why would the anger come up?
Well, anger can be the distractor implant. It can be awareness of a lie at play. You can be aware of someone else's anger. How many angry people are there in the world right now?
A shitload, especially with this administration. I'm one of those people that's also angry. It could be my anger, because I'm very upset about this.
Right. So all the anger that all of us are aware of, and everything we've done to define that anger as ours, will we now destroy and uncreate that and return it to sender with consciousness attached?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And with anger, how many definitions are you using to create the anger you're choosing? And all that is, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Another place we can look at with anger as well is everywhere you've misidentified and misapplied that your potency is anger.
I don't understand that one.
Well, often when a really intense energy comes up, how much of that is your potency to create a change in the situation? So you mentioned the current administration. What potency, what capacity, what abilities, what consciousness do you have available to you to create a change in the world that you're not acknowledging or accessing? And all that is, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everything that any and all of us put in place to suppress and repress the potency that we are, will we destroy it and create all of that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because if you can convince a humanoid, a seeker, someone who has a lot of power, that they're really angry, then you can get them to suppress it and not be it in the world. Yeah.
I wouldn't say to suppress the anger, because I don't suppress it very often. I would say to suppress their brilliance, their potency. Yeah. Damn, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what energy, space, and consciousness, and this is kind of a home play thing that I would recommend, is what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be that would allow you to be the greatness you truly be? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And so you asked about the purpose of entities.
Yes.
There are a lot of different types of entities, and we go into them in really exhaustive detail in the longer class. But entities are basically beings that don't have a body. And for one reason or another, often that they don't even know that they're dead, they're hanging around. Some of them have unfinished business. Some of them just need to be cleared. And the brilliant thing about us is if we're willing to have the awareness of them, we can set them free, which is an enormous gift to them and to the earth.
And to us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to us. Yeah.
Someone brought this up about Anthony Bourdain, because when he died, I was already feeling kind of down. And when he died, for some reason or other, it really hit close to home. I guess because he traveled, he was cultured, and he loved food. And I'm a chef and a wellness coach. And somehow it really got to me. And I did a bars exchange, and some of this came up, which was maybe he wanted to leave and we're holding on to him and we're not letting him go.
Well, again, I would go to the question is, a great question to ask with regards to entities, and are entities at play here? If you're in a relationship with someone and it's strained, or if there's a situation, an energy around it, you can always ask the question, are there entities at play here? Are entities contributing to this situation?
You mean if it's a conflict, or if it's anything. Like if it's wonky?
You can use that for anything, actually. Something cool shows up. Okay, did entities contribute to this? Thanks, you guys.
Well, one thing that I've noticed, Heather, this may seem funny because I'm pagan, so I believe in fairies. You can call them, I guess, entities. We're always losing shit in the house. I mean, literally, we put it here and then it's gone, and we dig and we fight. And Mom and I get into fights over there. So, where did you leave it? No, you did it. No, you had it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this can't be real. And this just happened yesterday. Something's up here. What do you think the purpose would be of an entity taking something and moving it? So there can also be destructive entities, right?
Well, thank you for bringing up that, because that's one of the common misconceptions about entities, and how many definitions are you functioning from that entities are dangerous, harmful, scary, or against you? And that's for everyone on this call. So I'm really appreciating that you're asking the questions, because it's running on everyone and everyone who will watch this later. So how many definitions do you have of entities that doesn't allow you to have awareness of them? And all that is, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes, yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And again, the question, is this entities for this situation? I can't find this thing. Is this entities? And everything that doesn't allow you to know, perceive, know, be, and receive what's true and real here, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Heather, can you also talk a little bit about the definition, like when we do make them dangerous, scary,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
make them
Thank you.
greater, and especially when they're scary?
Right. Well, as we talk about in Access Consciousness, your point of view creates your reality, not the other way around. So if you have the point of view that entities are scary and dangerous and that they're out to harm you and hurt you, then that's what's going to show up for you. And you won't be aware of, or allow yourself to be aware of, all the entities that are desiring to gift to you, contribute to you, make your life easier, contribute to your business. So all the definitions that all of us have of entities that don't allow us to have awareness of them, will we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many definitions are you using to create the fear and resistance to entities you are choosing? And all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many implanted and explanted points of view are all of you functioning from that entities are harmful, scary, awful, dangerous, that's unholy is the word that's coming to me. And all that is, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I just remembered, I forgot to run the most important clearing in any Access or Talk to the Entities class, which is everything that doesn't allow us to have more fun on this Zoom than we've ever had so far. Will we all destroy and uncreate it all?
Absolutely.
Yes, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everywhere entities and spirits and ghosts, how many definitions are you all using to make them heavy and serious and significant and dangerous and difficult? And all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Cool. That's fun.
Yay. I'm like, what were we even talking about? That kind of like, let's get better than that.
So, Heather, can you tell more about what's going on in those classes? Because to be honest with you, I've done a lot of Access classes,
Mm-hmm.
and those ones eluded me.
Uh-huh.
Every single time when I chose them, in Chicago area, they got canceled.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even know what's going on in Talk to the Entities class. This is going to be the first Talk to the Entities class that I'll be taking in Chicago area.
Yes, I'm so excited because I grew up in Chicagoland, so it's kind of like going home for me. And I'm so excited for the entities that we'll get to clear and communicate with and play with while we're there. So that's super exciting. And what we do in the intro class is it's open to anybody, whether you've had any access or not. It has no prereqs. It's a 2-hour class, and we really go into whatever questions people have, what's up for people. Sometimes entities bring people to class and they'd like to have a conversation. It's a conversation that they've been waiting to have for quite some time. It could be a relative that's passed that's hanging on and has some unfinished business. And it's an incredible gift to both the entity and the participant in the class, because both of them get free. Because this entity may have been hanging on because they've got some message to pass on. They're just waiting for this person to notice that they're there. And
How cool.
yeah, so I've had the parent, the relative, those are the kinds of entities that show up wanting to discuss and connect. And it's also entities that are looking to be cleared as well. So we do a lot of clearing in the interclass, and then massive amounts of clearing and change in the 2-day class. In the 2-day class, it's a manual, and we go through a compendium of clearings to clear everything from demons that are in the way to just all different types of entities. We talk about spirits of the earth. We talk about teammates.
Ooh, can you speak a little bit about the spirits of the earth? Because I didn't even know it was part of the talk of the entities.
Yes. And the spirits of the earth, I mean, what would the earth be like? What would your life be like if you engaged with, if you were willing and open to playing with and receiving and being aware of the spirits of the earth, and inviting them to where you live and the nature where you enjoy being. I run in a state park. One of the things I love about where I live now in Maryland is that I'm right by this state park, and years of inviting the nature spirits to play. There used to be this kind of unattractive railing that I would run by, and now it's covered in wildflowers. And the birds come out, and being there is just a magical, beautiful experience. So it's difficult to put into tangible words, but this is the energy that we can invite with and clear everything that's in the way of perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving the nature spirits.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for asking about that.
And we have a question in the chat right now.
Cool.
If you could, from Sylvia, if you could speak a little about the difference between demons and entities.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up, because demons have been up for a lot of people lately. They're entities that do get invoked and invited. They're beings that came specifically to promote, to engage in anti-consciousness. And the consciousness of this planet is to a level where they're ready to go. They're tired. It's a lot of work for them to hang around and create the havoc that they do. And the tools are really simple to clear them. And there's really 2 types of demons. The first ones are the demons that you personally create and invite with your own judgments. So all the definitions and all the judgments that you have of you that have invoked, invited, or allowed demon in any time, space, dimension, and reality, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So with demons, the clearing's really simple. All the judgments that allow these demons to exist, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Anyone or anything that you have ever judged as greater or more powerful than you, that invoked or invited any demon, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, another clearing we do with demons is vows and oaths. So all the vows, oaths, swearings, fealties, communities, commitments, pacts, promises, binding and bonding contracts, including all the secret, hidden, invisible, covert, unseen, unsaid, undisclosed, and unacknowledged implants and explants, holding all of this in place, will we now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you're getting sleepy or you couldn't hear any of that, you will receive a replay of this if you registered on the Access site. So, but you could shorten it to all the commitments I have to any and all demons, destroy and create that. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. And then the final step is you tell them, you demand that they go back to from whence they came, never to return to you, your body, this earth, or this reality again. Return to from whence you came, never to return to us or this reality again. Return to from whence you came, never to return to us or this reality again. Return to from whence you came, never to return to us or this reality again.
Cool. Thank you. There's also question, is there any body process in talk to the entities?
No, there isn't. There isn't. If you haven't taken a foundation, Kathy, or the body process is in there, or the 3-day body class, oh my gosh. The 3-day body class has just gotten more amazing than ever, huh?
Yeah, oh my God. I just got the new manual.
What's it like?
Oh God, it's 3/4 advanced processes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to Canada in 2 weeks, and I can't wait to start facilitating that class.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Wow. Wow. Cool.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So this subject is a bit sensitive to me because my daughter had anorexia, and she was hearing this ED voice. I mean, they even call it the ED voice, the eating disorder voice. And this voice was telling her what to do and what to eat and how many calories those are, and not to listen to people. And I was seeing this old woman attached to her, And when I asked her what she was doing there, she said that my daughter invited her, and they have a contract, and and we were trying to send her away so many times. Well, at the end it happened, but when you say, not to think of the identities as
Unfriendly.
unfriendly, my daughter almost died. So it's really hard for me to, not to think of them, in a negative way.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned this for a couple reasons, because a lot of people do come to class or to sessions with questions about people in their lives with entity issues. And the number one thing, and it really speaks to the theme of this Zoom, is that the person, you can clear entities from other people, but they can always invite them back if they choose. Because ultimately, we're in charge of our lives. And if someone's committed to a demon, and no matter how much you care about them and can see how that entity or demon is creating limitation in their life, unless they choose to let it go, that's not a choice that you can make for them. So then it comes to a question of, if it's someone in your life that you're close to, that you care about, what can I be and do different to change them? So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, ways, and beyonds. And let's see, another question that I would like to ask in this situation that's just good generally with things that come up is, what question can I ask or be here that would create a different possibility? And you can ask your daughter questions. You can ask her, what's the value of holding on to this being? Hey, sweetness. So anywhere any and all of us have made any being greater than us and given any being power and control, will we now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Whew. So how many vows, oaths, swearings, fealties, communalities, commitments, pacts, promises, binding and bonding contracts do any and all of you have to any being that desires to limit you? And all that is, will you destroy it and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Another great question or clearing to run is everything that doesn't allow this to change. I destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, only pot, pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. So everything that doesn't allow this situation to change, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And all the definitions that you have of you that don't allow you to know that you are in charge. Will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And we get into this in real depth in the 2-day beginning class, because there are so many clearings on everywhere we've given up our capacity to handle all energies and entities. Everywhere we have not been allowing ourselves to be the energy, space, and consciousness that can change, that can shift, that can transform all energies and entities. Will we now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And for entities that aren't clearing, or when you're with someone when an entity is not clearing, you can ask the person, what's the value of holding on to this being? What's the value of holding on to this entity? And often it doesn't have to be a cognitive kind of linear answer. It might not even make a lot of sense. It may not be from this lifetime. But you can always use the clearing statement to clear whatever that value is. So for all of you, what is the value of holding on to entities or beings that are not contributing to you? And all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And how many definitions are you functioning from that allow any entity to harm you, hurt you, stop you, or limit you? And all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So that was a whole lot of directions to go with this, but you'll get the replay, so there's a lot of questions and tools to play with in that. But what's coming up here is we haven't done just a basic entity clearing, because in any Talk to the Entities class, a lot of entities show up and they're looking to be cleared. So it's really simple. The basic entity clearing of Talk to the Entities and Access Consciousness is truth. Who are all of you? Truth. Who were all of you before that? 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 And truth. Who will all of you be in the future? Thank you very much. You may now leave. Take your luggage and your magnetic and electrical imprinting with you. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, for all the demons, We demand that you return to from whence you came, never to return to us, our bodies, or this reality again. Return to from whence you came, never to return to us, our bodies, or this reality again. Return to from whence you came, never to return to us, our bodies, or this reality again.
Cool.
Cool.
There's also a question.
Okay.
Will we touch in elementals during the class?
Well, these days, any class in Access, it's almost impossible to not discuss the elementals. The elementals came about in a class that Helen and I recently attended with some other people that are on this Zoom as well. And there are these energies that, like, if you know the periodic table of elements that exists in this reality, on this planet, there are these other elements that contribute to creations, that contribute to the exponentialization of possibilities. So the way to start playing with the elementals is asking to engage with them. So let's all right now ask to engage with the elementals that will facilitate a greater possibility. So everything that doesn't allow that, everything that doesn't allow you to engage with the elementals, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, ways, and beyonds. And yeah, everything that doesn't allow you to engage with the elementals to create, to facilitate, to perceive, know, be, and receive a greater possibility, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts and beyonds. And from my own personal experience playing with this in the last few weeks, asking these questions to engage with the elementals, no matter what's showing up, invites such a happiness, such a ease, joy, and glory. What if all of life truly does come to you with ease, joy, and glory?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, ways, and beyonds. Thank you for asking that. So what else is possible? What other questions do we have tonight? What else can we play with and invite and create with regards to talk to the entities? So who or what have you made greater or more powerful than you that is limiting you? And all that is, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And who or what have you made greater than you? And who or what have you given power over you that is limiting your money flows? And all that is, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Entities and money is a specialty class of Talk to the Entities, and it's a really fun area to talk about because there's so many creation possibilities. So everything that got brought up, all the definitions when we brought money into the equation, will we now destroy and uncreate that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many lifetimes was creating money or wealth or prosperity or riches with entities considered a judgeable offense, a wrongness, a sin, a travesty, a crime? And all that is, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is one area that we also go into in the 2-day class, is what's in the way of you being able to have all your abilities and capacities with entities.
Wow.
And all the definitions that you have of you that don't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive what's truly possible, will you destroy it or create it?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts and beyonds. Because a lot of the clearings that we run are clearing away everything that doesn't allow you to access what you know and what you're aware of. A lot of people ask me in classes or sessions, is it a special gift? Is it only available to some people? These tools make it accessible to clear, to communicate with, and to receive from entities, even if you've never tried it before. So it really
So
makes
pretty much everybody has a gift of communicating and clearing and doing all of that. It's just a choice, isn't it?
yeah. And what we're clearing is the barriers to your own awareness.
Ah, okay.
The gift of you as a being, the gift of awareness that you are, and the gift that you can be to the entities. I mean, what gift are you to the spirits of the earth when you're willing to be aware of them, invite them, and acknowledge them? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the gift that that is to the earth, will you destroy it and create it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, grays, and beyonds. Yeah, and someone's bringing up the points of view and judgments, from long ago. Like, how many judgments and points of view do you have about you that don't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the entities that are available to be cleared and to be communicated with? And all that is, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, grays, and beyonds.
So when you're saying that we give power away, is it our choice in the long run, short run, to give it away or not?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. It's always a choice. What if everything truly is a choice? And if you choose to give your power to an entity or allow an entity to run your life or your body, what future are you creating with that choice? Mm-hmm. And what different choices are possible that would create greater for you and everyone you come in contact with than you can imagine? Wow. So everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. One thing we talk about and talk to the entities is, would you be willing to be the dominant entity in your own life?
Wow.
And everything that brings up, will you destroy it and uncreate it?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And anyone or anything that you ever gave power to, gave power over you to, anyone you ever committed to that doesn't allow you to be the dominant entity in your own life, will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. I'm so not doing a taster right now. So I just feel like
I know. You're actually
you're fried.
Meat of the class.
Going into like the deep work here. So
well, in a way it's a teaser to show people what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they have an hour of this, what if they have 2.5 days of this?
Yeah.
What that would create in their lives. I wonder.
Yeah.
How much space can it create for those people who choose the class in August versus different choices? We do have another question from Marcy.
Cool.
I get time to work with the earth and I would like to find clarity around it, but that's actually maybe a question for the 2.5 days, isn't it?
Yeah. And so
But you might touch someone, some maybe a little bit, but I guess the clarity will come from the clearing things.
Yeah. And what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be that would allow you to be the gift to the earth you truly be? And everything that doesn't allow that, well, you destroy it and create it.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's another great home play one. If you wanted to run a clearing to invite in different possibilities, that's one that you could run over and over and see what shows up. And when things show up that are really cool, like I've noticed recently the birds are singing more. There's more wildflowers. There's more wild animals that let me get really close to them. When you see things like that show up, acknowledge it and ask for more.
Cool.
So everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge and ask for more, will you destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be that would allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive the gift you are to the earth with total ease, and everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy it and create it?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. So does anyone else have any other questions as we get ready to wrap up? Hey, does the dog have a question?
Yeah. My dog had lots of questions there, and now he's asleep completely. Can you talk a little bit about animals and entities?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're like the dog barking just now, you can always ask, what is my animal aware of? What is that animal aware of that I'm not willing to be? What is that animal trying to tell me? Because animals do have awareness of entities. Cats, dogs. So you can always ask a question. I mean, that's really like the bottom line of like this whole theme tonight is ask a question. So with the dog just now, is that dog aware of entities?
Yep.
So everything we're not willing or able to perceive, know, be, and receive about that, will we destroy and create it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so when an animal, and often our bodies will do this too, our bodies will invite us to be aware of what we haven't been willing to be aware of. It's something that we talk about a lot, is the entity awareness signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned earlier, for me, it was mood. Like if I was funky or depressed, that was one of my entity awareness signs, because I'm a happy person. So if there's that energy there, then I ask a question. Okay, so is this entities? And then from there, we ask more questions. We use more tools. Is this an entity that's looking to be cleared? Is this an entity that is looking to communicate? We have a flow chart in Talk to the Entities of how you handle different entity situations. So from the awareness that your animal may be gifting to you, or the awareness that your body, or you have the awareness that entities are present, then we use a flow chart. It's really handy. It just walks you through the steps and the questions to know what you're dealing with and how to handle it. And so what if it really was that easy and fun, and what's actually possible you've never considered in terms of clearing, communicating, and receiving from entities? And everything that doesn't allow that, well, you destroy and create it all.
Cool.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
That flow chart That's an interesting idea. So you basically look at what you do and ask questions about that?
Yeah, like you're aware that there's an entity there, and it's a series of questions and steps that you go to. So if it's this is an entity that's here for me personally. Okay, is this entity a relative? Yes, no. It's a series of questions, and it allows you to work the muscle. Like a lot of these tools are things to play with. You're certainly not expected to be an expert right away. You have the flow chart. You can use the clearings and the tools and the manual to expand your own awareness and to use the tools to communicate with the entities that are there to communicate with you.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about the class. Let's do a little commercial for people who don't know that you're coming to Chicago.
I'm coming to Chicago. Yes. And I'm so grateful. I grew up there. So, you know, being able to be back in that land is going to be really fun. And I wonder what nature spirits we can play with. I wonder what entities we can clear. I wonder what different possibilities we can invite. And really what else is possible we haven't ever considered. And whether you come to Chicago or not, I'm also doing one in
Heather, you didn't say when. It's
yeah.
17th through 19th. The intro will be on the 17th, 18th, and 19th will be the actual beginning for talk to the entities. And we are also co-facilitating a bars class in Chicago on the 15th. Where can people find you? What is your website?
That is a great question. And thank you for mentioning the bars class. It is a prerequisite to the 2-day class. That is...
Because you're facilitating other classes, not just in Chicago.
Yes.
So where is your other classes?
I'm doing a talk to the entities in Maryland right the weekend before Halloween, which I'm super excited about. And I'm also going to be, as soon as I can put it on the calendar, I'm going to be doing an entities and money class because that's really been popping lately, and that will be a Zoom. So that will really be open to anyone. It's a topic I love to play with personally, because what if you could engage with the entities that actually desire to contribute to you having more ease, more prosperity, and more fun in your life. And it's something we'll certainly talk about in Chicago as well. And for those that desire a deep dive, I'll be doing that introduction at some point.
So excited. Cannot wait for you to come and join me here.
Yay. And I just want to express my gratitude to everyone that's on this Zoom, and that everyone that's going to be listening to this in the future. The way we facilitate, as you guys know, whether or not you've been to an Access class or a Talk to the Entities class, is based on your energy and your questions. So thank you for your questions here tonight. Thank you for showing up and everything that you brought up. And what else is possible you haven't ever considered? And what gift and what contribution can Access Consciousness and Talk to the Entities be to you and your future? So I'm super grateful to you guys, and thank you so much for playing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heather, and thank you everybody who joined us. It's been such an amazing, amazing Zoom, and everybody who will be watching it, listening to it later on. We are grateful because you still contributed to the Zoom as well. Everybody who now or in the future is joining us, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much, I think, we're at our end of the Zoom.
Yeah, it's almost 10 my time, so I'm going to go.
So any last words before we go, or we'll just say goodbye?
Yeah, and again, just thank you guys. And what can I contribute to you? And yeah, what else is possible with entities you haven't ever considered? And I hope to see you soon.
And I think there was a little question. I would like more. Travel is not in those 10 seconds. Are there other online classes or Zooms?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can find them on either my page, Helen Gitlevich, .accessconsciousness.com, Creating Abundance with Ease Facebook page. Most of the events are there. And you can also sign up for Heather newsletter or my newsletter if you give us your email, either in private message here or in private message on the Facebook.
Yeah, let's connect. Let's stay in touch.
Let's stay in touch. And if you'd like either one of us in your area and you don't want to travel, please invite us. You're ready to travel.
I love that idea. Yeah, we both love traveling. So, yeah, thank you. Great question. And the intro classes that I do have coming up with Talk to the Entities will be on Zoom, so you're welcome to join us there. And that's on the Access Consciousness website.
And if you'd like, on Monday, I'm doing another free Zoom on Living in the Moment. You can find that on the webpage. It will be in the morning, though, because we're trying to reach Europe and Israel, where I'm going next. So thank you.
Awesome. Yay.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Super
you.
grateful. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Heather.
Bye.